So Benglele. So let's cut before my dad woke me up. I overheard them speaking ubawa. Umalume watshela ubaba ukuthi IGAZI, the type of bloods they used to ukuthatha umama ukumcontrola, because like as I said, my mom was not the type of favor. So my dad found out from that guy that from umalume ukuthi they used our blood, a pigeon's blood, a bird's blood, in Yoni, and I think a cat's blood, or not, I'm not sure which other animal, but I'm sure it's a cat too. Those three, basically. And then after that, I never heard him speak about that again. That was the first and last time I heard of that. And my dad never spoke about it to anybody else. Not when my dad found out that my mom had an affair, apparently when he went to a priest, there's a certain priest he actually went to, and he only went to that priest like once or twice. And the second time, and I went to go and get something like this. Do you see? Yeah. So I work with this because this was only after my sister passed on. That's when I started having this thing, because I feel like I actually realized that that's when my sister passed something she had onto me. So basically, my sister was the one who was aware of whatever muti was used. Not that she knew of, but basically she was getting the signs which she was not aware of, you understand? Because she was a soft-hearted person, easy to target. Like, maybe for example, if you feel she was an easy person to target. So when she had that dream, Bajelu Baba, my dad went to a priest, she went to Makaya, then she passed on. Mugogo was jela ukuthi khona umoya omubi that's following her, you understand? And then that's when my granny passed on in 2019. So the day before she passed on, when we moved to Malaysia in 2017, that's when I started feeling the spiritual world, like where we were living, specifically in Malaysia, extension 13. In that thing, I never loved it, especially when it came to the night time. From 6 or 7 latest, I never liked you understand? It's very disturbing.
Welcome back to our podcast. Welcome back to our show. The name of this podcast is Open Up. This is where we invite different guests, different people to come and share with us their lives and their experiences. Today we have another female guest. You're our second female guest in the show. Because of an episode before, or the previous one, we had a female guest. So you are welcome. Welcome to our show. And introduce yourself.
So everyone at home, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are fine. I hope you are warm. I go by Fatima Arif and as KB or KC too.
Yeah. Fatima, you are welcome to our show, as I've said. So the name of this podcast and the name of this show is Open Up. So Lana, we like to invite people who share. We like it more when someone is sharing about things that has been through, you know. Because it's always easy to talk about those. But it's also fine if you want to share with us the things that you are currently going through. It's up to you, you know. We open up. So,
it depends on what your first question would be. You understand? Since it's our first time speaking.
Yeah.
On what you would like to know. You understand?
Yeah, ngiyathola. So ukhulela kuphi uhlala kuphi nje?
So I was recently staying in Forest Hill, but then I moved out. So I'm now currently kind of local, you know, but I'm somewhere in Mayfair.
Yeah.
Yes, I relocated to Mayfair, so yeah.
So nesikhathi singana uhlala khona lapho
in Mayfair? Probably like a week or two. Yeah, just a week or two because we recently moved out and we've been living there for like 3-4 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So when ungathi ukhulela kuphi nje like uhlala kuphi?
Just
okay, guys, don't be surprised when you hear me asking her questions. She can hear me this one. So this is why I'm like, but anyway, I'm gonna be just young up and up.
No problem. Okay, so basically, I wouldn't say. Okay, I'd say Ukulele Lavele because basically I moved from the first place I remember like as a kid staying at was in Turpentine Tough Club.
Yeah.
Where my dad's friend had a house. He still has the same house.
Yeah.
There was a cottage at the back and that cottage was always being rented out. So when my dad first came this side, that was the first guy my dad met and they were friends ever since.
Yeah.
So when they were friends ever since, obviously my dad got that home for him to start, you know, just to make a living and then when he's okay, he's gonna make his own worth. So my dad met my mom, then from there, that's when we started staying there. That's when they had me, that's when they got married and everything. So I would say maybe at least until I was like 5 or 4, I lived there. And then we moved out to town. That's when we were staying. It's Elof and then it's another street. I'm not sure what's the name of the street, but we used to live there. That's where we moved to. And then we lived there for like until I was 7 years old. So that means by 2016, we moved out from town. Then we went to Lenasia. So from 2017 to 2019, we went to La Rochelle. Okay, we moved to this side. So I was just basically relocating, but like in the areas that are like around here. So I also once lived here in Regent's Park. Then I relocated back to Tough Club. Then from Tough Club, I went to Bertha Street in Turpentine. You see? So that's why in the previous story I said I wasn't really well in school.
So
so when we moved from town, from there that's when me and my dad started staying alone. So from there it's just been me and my dad. Everywhere else we went, it was just me and my dad.
Okay, but you know I'm gonna ask you this question, right? So what changed like the whole thing? What made your mother to move or your father to move out with you? So like would you feel a situation whereby you are living with your dad? What happened?
So my mom, like, I won't say much because it's between my parents and I don't like speaking my parents' business because I know they wouldn't be comfortable being out there. So okay, not Favor. There was a certain point where she started doing that, which me and my dad know my mom never used to do. So Usiswam Omdala, the firstborn, she was sick at the time. She came to visit us when we were still living in town. So when she came to visit us, my grandfather came after from my mom's side. And I was surprised because I'm the one who usually goes and visit them that side. They're not the ones who come to this side. But I didn't really get my attention because I was still young. So to me it was just like, oh, maybe they just decided to visit this side. Or maybe Umama couldn't go that side. So I was like, okay, no problem. I'm just happy to see anything when you sister because I missed them.
Yeah.
So apparently the reason for them to come this side was because my sister was sick, and apparently that would be the last time I seen her.
That was when?
So 2016. Yes. So one thing I still suspect till today is I feel like my mom's side of the family knew about the situation, but didn't tell me and my dad, because me and my two sisters, all three of us don't share the same dad. So I'm the last born. But from my dad's side, it's just me. I don't have siblings. From my mom's side, it's three. So my dad, not that we didn't love the rest of the family. We did, but we loved the firstborn more than the others. You know? So me, my dad, and my older sister had a very good connection. So I feel like they didn't want to tell us because they knew my dad would not sit well with it, because obviously there's too many of y'all in Makaya. How is she sick? Do you understand? How did she get sick?
Yeah.
Which of as we speak, I'm putting one and two together, because then recently watched something that caught my attention.
Yeah.
Which I won't say at all, because I myself respectfully wouldn't want to say that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's personal enough for anything. So my dad mentioned something recently which took me back to when my sister was sick.
Yeah.
And then he told me that might be the reason why she's sick and why she got sick. And I'm paternal because I understand why they wouldn't have told us, because like I said, my dad would have not been okay with it, because she wouldn't have been sick if you guys were careless.
Yeah.
Understand? So when they came to visit, apparently I found out she was sick, and that's the time when my mom got fever and stuff like that. And it's not like she was going around and stuff like that. No. So when all of that happened, my dad, so since my grandfather from my mom's side came also with my sister, my dad, during everything was happening, my dad spoke to his father-in-law and was like, do you see the things your daughter's doing and stuff like that? And I'm not worried about anything else, but I'm worried about the fact that she's doing it in front of the kids, and on top of that, she has an older daughter that's sick. You understand? Which I don't think my mom was really thinking of us, but maybe she was, but to me, no. So that's when everything happened, and then my mom had to go back to Port Elizabeth and Makaya. That's when we started living separately. That's when we moved to Lenasia, 2016, like I said. After she went, we moved to Lenasia. And, before she moved, we went to, it was like a building in town. It was near Gandhi Square, but it was like something that deals with, like, maybe say, when you can't go to like proper home affairs or something, like it's far or something, you can go there, and then it's where they deal with your courts, like if it's child wise or is it marriage wise, whatever it is, you can go there. So they took me there, and I wasn't really told what I was going to do there, but I was taken there. And then when we got there, my mom sat on my left, my dad sat on my right, and so it was a woman opposite me, and I never really liked socializing until today. I don't like socializing. I don't talk to much people, especially to people I don't know. Not that I'm being disrespectful or anything, but I just don't socialize. So she asked me, who do I want to stay with, because they're going to be separated from now on. So I didn't really understand. So I looked at my mom and I looked at my dad, and then I looked at her, and then I just said, "Be quiet," you understand? And then she repeated the question. She's like, who do you prefer staying with, your mom or your dad, because they're not going to be together? So I noticed that my mom was wrong, and as a kid, I wouldn't say my dad was very strict towards me. It was my mom that was strict, but my dad he was strict enough to not allow me to grow up in a bad environment. So before I answered, I thought about if I live with my mom and she's the one oyenza izinto eziso manje, what could happen if ngahamba naye? You understand? Not saying I don't trust her, she would have looked after me or anything like that. I trust her. I know she would have looked after me. I know.
Yeah.
We also have a connection, but I think that died, but hopefully not. So I chose my dad because I noticed my dad was a hardworking man. He would go to work, like he would never take a day off. Like you just want to be at work. He'd like being busy.
Yeah.
So when he got sick, it was like irritating him that he had to sit down and not do something. Like he was a person of like he always had energy to move. He loved being self-employed. Like he loved doing things for himself. So that's how it was. We moved out 2016. From there, I went to boarding school, and then from there, that's when I lost my sister, which I felt more distance, and then I didn't want to go back to boarding school after that because I mostly grew up in boarding school. So my dad understood that I felt more distant and more alone because I love my sister. Not that I love her more than my mom, but for the fact that I feel like she was more of a woman and a mother figure in my life, I loved her more. So when she passed on, I told my dad that I don't want to go back to boarding school because I feel like now I'm an orphan because you keep on putting me in boarding school like you're not around. Like I told him straight the whole night crew. And he was like, he tried understanding, and I wouldn't say he fully took a decision and then stopped taking me to boarding school, but I could see that he wasn't really decided fully, but he was like, I'll just do it for your sake, you understand, for you to feel okay and better and not like that, you understand? So I started going to school and I only went to private schools. So when I went to private schools, I found it a bit hard to focus like on proper subjects because I'm a Muslim, so I went to religious boarding schools, you understand? And all my boarding schools had only subjects of our religions, like history-wise and everything. And one thing, the only boarding school that I had proper school in, like maths, English, type orientation, was the last boarding school I went to, which was, I'm not sure, but I was doing grade 6. And I didn't complete because that's the second time I ran away from boarding school. Don't do that at home. So when I ran away from boarding school, that's when my dad noticed that I couldn't stay away from the house. And then he started taking me to school. Then that's when life started becoming a bit challenging because then now I don't have a sister, I don't have a mom, I don't have an aunt or anybody that's near me like that to like help me with my homework every day and stuff like that. Because my dad wasn't really that well educated, you understand?
Yeah.
So to him, he did everything he could. So whenever I had homework or something, I'd never go to him and be like, okay, Papa, can you help me with this or this or this? I would sit, like, even if it means I'd have to argue with my dad, like, mom to I'd tell him straight, can you please, no disrespect, but can you please do it, because no one's helping me with my homework, I don't know much. I'm going to have to spend time and, like, break things down for me to understand on my own.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like I was putting too much pressure on myself because now there's no one that could help me. And then I didn't give up, you understand? I decided to find an easy way. There was at some point where I put my pride down and I'm like, I'm going to just start taking after classes. And I started taking after classes for English. I wanted to start with the easy subjects so that I could like enjoy the after classes, you understand? I didn't want to now just go straight to maths and life orientation and I'm like, oh, it's too much work. So I started with English and then I loved it because then it was nice because then it wasn't like you in school. It's just like you maybe at home and you're sitting with friends and it's like you're teaching each other, the knowledge. Because then in after class in my school, it was a thing of you sit together, like you get groups, and then basically it would be the type that understand fast but they still learn slow, or it would be the type where they learn fast and they just need an easier breaking down and understanding and things like that. So it would be different groups, so we would be divided in our perfect level so we can match and it's easy for us to help each other.
Yeah.
So until I did that for a year. I took classes after classes for a year, and then I left after classes, and then I tried pushing without after classes, and then I made it through G8. I wonder how, because I wasn't the homework type at all. I never used to submit my SBAs. I never liked having that much work to do, unless if it was history and English. I just love history. I loved hearing about the olden days. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I love writing stories because then I mostly love speaking about my dad.
Yeah.
So, and my sister.
So I wanted to ask you, but I also didn't want to cut you. I
Yes,
want to
yes.
step you.
No,
So
it's okay.
it's not nice to cut someone marasakhuluma. But so umama, when they say you must choose between your mother and your dad, and then what happened to your relationship after that? Is it still all nice, communicating, or what? I'm sorry to take you back. I know you said you don't want to talk, but I just wanna know. I just want to understand that part.
Okay, no problem. Don't get offended if you ever bump into this. I wouldn't say in a relationship line, but I would say Mina on my side ngazama to build a relationship naye after she left in 2021 or 2022. I tried rebuilding a relationship with her, but after that I saw Uguti and she wouldn't come back to me. Which hopefully I hope she does, but at the same time I hope she doesn't, because to me it would be pointless and I wouldn't want her to feel hurt. So me and her don't speak. I haven't seen her in 12 years. I only last saw her in 2021, which is only over video call. She still looked the same, which I'll never forget how she looks like. Because for me, she was a very beautiful woman. I loved her. I loved how passionate she was. I loved how she stood for herself. She loved to stand up for herself. Like, she wants you to now if you want to be heard, you should also hear her. So we pretty much had like a lot of fun together in our times of being together. I treasured it, you understand. I have them kept in me. They still make me happy, I won't lie. I remember the days we used to sing. And like every Saturday, Sunday we'd clean and we'd sing. And she always made jokes because then now I'd be a naughty child. So she'd make jokes and stuff like that. And then I treasure the moment. So from there we never really had a relationship after that.
What's up, you love times?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure because we haven't spoken in a while. So yeah.
You've last spoke to 2021?
Yes.
Okay, I hope it's happy. I'm so glad.
Yeah, hopefully.
Is there a story that maybe you'd like to share with us? A story whereby when someone is listening at home can say, you. Like really something that you've been through, that might also create awareness from you. Don't do this because I've tried it and then this is what happened to me. Or any story. Do you have any story that you would love to share with us, that you would like to open up with us now?
Okay, so before I speak on Ingabazam, I would like to know what are you looking forward to hear what do you have in mind? Like, considering maybe your suggestions, and then maybe I can put them all together.
In life, we go through a lot of things, different things. But there is this thing where I will never forget this. You know, I will never forget this day. It might be a good thing that happened, or it might be a bad thing. Go to Angie that will remember. It's a story that I can tell you. Did something against him. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, so
it doesn't have to be a bad thing or a dangerous or a scary and total, but it's
so in the previous video, like I mentioned, hence I'm spiritual. Not that spiritual, but I am spiritual. So I would speak on a person's energy, like wow, you see. So back in 2017. When I realized that I was actually spiritual, when I found out, basically it was in 2016 before my sister passed on. I feel like she gave me something from her side, because I never had that as a kid. I never saw any spirit or anything. You know, I was okay. Yeah. I wasn't afraid of the dark, nothing. It was only when my sister visited us, and while she was sick, she had a dream. So for the fact that she was close towards my dad more than her dad or any other person, she had a dream. Uti was in the bathroom, and he was shaving himself like by the mirror. He usually like cuts himself. He doesn't go to the salon. He only goes to the salon if he's getting his hair done. So my sister said she had a dream. He was like shaving himself, and then there was some short like shadow emuva kwakhe and bekaphethe ngesenkulu. And which of my dad loves keeping these sort of big knives. Like he only like everywhere we go, everywhere we move to, if that knife breaks or whatever, he always like has a big one. You understand? And I wouldn't say we use a lot of knives, because I won't lie, I don't usually cook a lot, because Ubaba grew up buying takeaways, you understand? Because I was still young and there was no woman in the house to cook and stuff like that. So I grew up with him buying takeaways and things like that, you understand? So I cook here and there, you understand? So there's like not really a need of, you know? So after that, when she had that dream, my dad decided to talk to his mom in Makaya. And then Mama came and she was not happy. Okay, none of the family members from my father's side were happy. I would say they weren't approving the marriage, but unfortunately, so he went on with the process. So my sister was 15 years old when she was sick in 2016. So when she was sick, she told my dad the dream she had. That's when she went back in Makaya to Port Elizabeth, and then she passed on. So it was all left in San from my father's side. So she went to the priest from that side. Hence, my dad doesn't go to any other priest of his religion this side. We always contact abantu basemakhaya that side to go to that specific priest. So when before Gogo passed on, she told my dad that basically my dad also found out that the reason why my sister had that dream was because Umamam was, when she married my dad, she converted to being a Muslim. So basically when she was converted to being a Muslim, she was obviously introduced to the family. So my grandmom from my dad's side obviously went to the priest and got medication and all those type of herbs to, you know, not make amabati or anything follow us, no witchcraft should be easy upon us and stuff like that. Hence my granny, the family of my father's side wasn't approving the marriage. but they still decided to support my dad because obviously it's their kids, it's their brothers, their uncle. So when my dad found out that my mom had an affair, apparently when he went to a priest, there's a certain priest he actually went to, and he only went to that priest like once or twice. And the second time, and I went to go and get something like this. Do you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I work with this because this was only after my sister passed on. That's when I started having this thing, because I feel like I actually realized that that's when my sister passed something she had onto me. So basically, my sister was the one who was aware of whatever muti was used. Not that she knew of, but basically she was getting the signs which she was not aware of, you understand? Because she was a soft-hearted person, easy to target. Like, maybe for example, if she was an easy person to target.
Yeah.
So when she had that dream, Baba, my dad went to a priest, she went to Makaya, then she passed on. Ugogo was jailer, Uguti, Kona Umoya, Umubi, that's following all, you understand? And then that's when my granny passed on in 2019. So the day before she passed on, when we moved to Malaysia in 2017, that's when I started feeling the spiritual world, like where we were living, specifically in Malaysia, Extension 13. In that I never loved it, especially when it came to the night time. From 6 or 7 latest, I never liked a jardin, you understand? It's very disturbing because hence my sister was an easy person to target. Why I like it. Just the same thing with me. So she passed on whatever she had to me. Hence, I felt like she would have passed it to Usiswa Momonye, but she wasn't near her to pass it on, do you understand? And plus, I feel like the only reason why it passed on to me was because the dream she had was about my dad, and it's only me and my dad that has one bloodline. Not her and my dad, do you understand? So, after all of that, my dad found out Uti. Apparently, I'm not sure if it was the guy Mama had an affair with. So, I think one of my dad's friends was spiritual. He was very spiritual. And he was a nice uncle to me. He loved me so much. So he always loved keeping my dad close. He loved keeping my dad close. Like, it would get to a point where every time I'm sleeping, he'd always stay awake, and he'd literally be like he would be sitting there, because mostly I have trouble at night sleeping. I have trouble. I'll cry, I'll speak, and I'll say things I'm not even aware of, but I'll say things I know because I dreamt it. So if I wake up and it's with you, and I was with you, because we born lento, so she would see it was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So ubaba bengele, so apparently lo malume wami uyathandaza. So ubaba wamvusa siyothandaza, and then we went to the lounge and we were praying. And now, mind you, our last prayer in the day is, I think, past 8 or to 9. So, yeah, I think it's past 8. It's 8:15. That's the last prayer of the day, 8:15. So, when we were praying, apparently, out of nowhere, my uncle was in a certain posture while praying, which is the process of how we pray. So when he was in that posture, umalume bekangasukumi. He was just growling and growling, you know, like, and ubaba bekathandaze, and I was a kid, so you know, mawuthandaza in a move, it's not like it's a sin because so I would move and move, and I wouldn't disturb my dad because I know as an adult you should focus in praying, you understand, in our religion. So ubaba athandaze, but then now the more he's growing, the more I'm becoming uncomfortable because now it's like it's like he's, like I said, it's easy to take over. So now it's like he's trying to communicate to my spirit without me speaking because obviously I didn't know how to explain whatever's happening, and my dad didn't know what was going on because I would always call out what is that? And he wouldn't see what he hear me, so he'd be like, and I'm it's literally standing there and it's looking at me like my dad would see I'm very disturbed. Like, I'm not that type of you. I never played with spiritual things like that. As a kid growing up, I never played with anything like that. So so let's cut before my dad woke me up. I overheard them speaking ubabawa. Umalume watshela ubaba ukuthi IGAZI, the type of blood they used ukuthatha umama ukumcontrola because like as I said, my mom was not the type of fame. So my dad found out from that guy that from umalume ukuthi they used our blood, a pigeon's blood, a bird's blood, in Yoni, and I think a cat's blood, or not. I'm not sure which other animal, but I'm sure there's a cat too. Those three, BASEBENZISA. And then after that, I never heard him speak about that again. That was the first and last time I heard of that. And my dad never spoke about it to anybody else, nothing like that. So it was shocking to me. I only brought it up recently, So then when we moved out to Lenasia in 2017, my mom had a girlfriend. I mean, my dad had a girlfriend. My dad had a girlfriend. So when she came to visit us, so I never had alright from past 6 in the evening. I never liked the outside streets. So if I'm playing outside, I'll be in by 5. So when that happened, my dad was like, let's leave this place for a while and go and visit your uncle. Which I think he stayed in extension 1 of Lenasia. And we went to go and visit him for a week. Oh, I think my dad was a bit late on rent and we had to move in there. And he didn't mind helping us at all. As I said, he loved keeping my dad close. Even with me, he basically loved keeping my dad close because of me. And most of my dad's spiritual friends or priests that they went to always had problems about me. Like, there was a lot of ipati elandela mina mostly because I'm the last breed from my dad's side. You see. So it was mostly coming to me, everything was falling upon me, just that darkness following me and things like that. So he liked keeping us close for that situation. So Leskati Batandaza, he was growling and growling, and and I was being bothered by that because now he's growling non-stop and it's dark, you know, like I'm coming from Endlini where I'm irritated with Moya from past 6 and it's already the last prayer, it's already past 6, I don't know, he's growling. And I say, what's going on now? What time again? That's I'm like, well, I stop it because I'm being irritated, like it's disturbing me, young Tusa. Apparently he stopped on his own. Because then I thought I disturbed him from praying. And then I asked him, I'm like, are you okay, uncle? And then I'd say, I'm right. It's just that Benzandas, you know. But being right after that, it's like, yo, more like he was really, really bothered. So, I fell asleep again, and then he was always sitting by my feet. Apparently, every time I just cried, when it comes to crying, I wouldn't hear myself. Any easier than cry. But ukhuluma, sometimes I would hear myself. So, he would sit by my feet every time I just start crying or talking. He'd take a chair, he'd sit opposite my face because of and then he'd pray a certain prayer. He'd write. So we read in Arabic and we write in Arabic. So he'd write a certain prayer on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
He'd fold it, he'd read, he'd blow on it 3 times, and then he'd like put it in a bottle of water or in a glass of water. And then he'd do another certain prayer that takes out bad luck, bad eyes and everything, you know, maybe. And then he'd blow 3 times in a glass of water or in the bottle of water. And then he would wake me up at Puzanans, and then I'd sleep okay after that. So when we moved to Lenasia in 2017, that's when I actually realized that I was more spiritual, and I started tapping into my spiritual world. Like, that's when I actually realized that if it's not that dead, then abantu that's not resting in peace, like I'll always get in contact with them. Like, they'll come to me. Like, I would always just see them, you know. So it was a day where I decided to come late in Gini. I wasn't playing far. Like, I had a friend that stayed next door, and then the other one next door. And then there was one that So in Lens, the roads are like, they're all curvy, you know. They're like, you don't find most roads like, they mostly like, you know. So, basically, I feel like that whole street had a problem. But in that whole street, I feel like the house at the end of the street, because then there was a big bush from there. So that house, it was weird, because then it was an empty yard with a small room that's there, and the grass is also long. Every time I would pass there, so hence I go to school. We were in one transport in that street, obviously. So we was because they come from the areas that and then they go through like so. So she'd stay opposite that house. So extending every time I pass by that house, I would just like call my friend fast, like I'll tell her, can you come fast? I don't want to stand outside. So I was also kind of bothered by the bush. Like, during the day I had that feeling, but at night I really never liked being there. So it was that house and Lam that specifically I had a problem with Kuliostrat. So basically the landlord, she was not too friendly. She was too, you know. So there was a night where I decided to get late, number 7. So manje makuyisikhathi sokushiya abangani bami. My hands now, I'm on this side, I'm not on that side. So I'm with my friends. It's a girl and she had 2 sisters. So there was like 4 of us. So we play Jardin. We would never play Jardin. I never liked playing Jardin. If we play Jardin, it was outside the garage, not inside my yard. So okay, we're playing. 7 o'clock, shy. So something is telling me, Fatima, go home. Don't mind late more than, you know. So manje, I'm telling my friends, I'm like, hi, it's mainly manje, it's gonna be capping. So I'm cover, I'm shaking. Hi. So in me like 18, manje, you're still in it, you know. I am going to be like, so manje, I asked my friends, because it was a long passage and it was dark. So the rooms at the back, they didn't have a kitchen inside, they didn't have a bathroom inside, all the rooms. So in that passage, as you enter, it's a gate. It's like a gate that's small. So when you enter, when you look, immediately as you enter and you look on your left, that's the entrance, like the kitchen entrance to the main house. So when you walk up and down, the zinc is there, like where the people at the back can wash dishes. So when you walk a bit more further, like that whole passage is just dark. Now, hence it maybe say it's the size. Yeah. So every time in once I do the tap, until I turn, because when I turn, I have to go straight again. Then I enter my room. Because then, you see when you see my door, as soon as you stand in front of my door and you look right, it's another door, like in the camera. So when I get to the end of the passage that's straight, that's where this much of space is, where we'd hang our washing. That's where now we hang our washing. And I never liked that space because then there's like a pathway and the grass will always stay long, like she'd hardly cut the grass. And I never liked it. I don't like long grass. I don't know why. So manje, mangifika lapha ekhoneni, bengihlala ngizitshela ukuthi okay, mase ngifika la sengigijima, because I feel like I was always watched. And that's in that certain place, because it was an open space, and when you pass the washing line, in Muba, the other rooms, there was a gap. There was like just space, and there's just like plenty of bricks. But now the bricks weren't full or weren't like level. They were just like on some a way like So I was bothered by the fact that why are the bricks sitting like that? Do you understand? But then I was like, let me not get too much attention of me. You understand? So that certain night when I came home around 7, I told everyone I was like, I need coffee. And by the way I asked them, they saw hi, I was bothered. So they got scared and they were like, and I was like, yo, I begged them. They were like, when I ran and I passed the dustbin, every time I passed the dustbin, as soon as I would turn and my back or my right side would face that side, it's just like I'm watching you, like I can see you, like I always felt like every time I passed it, I felt like couldn't do smiling, and it would smile to me in a weird way, like young too. So like I wouldn't see it, but spiritually I would see it as I'm scared, like the image is there, like I would see what's seeing me and smiling at me, like
what was they were like
I always see that thing every time I close my eyes. I would say it's like its neck, its head, it's fallen off. Do you understand? I would say sort of like it's like BAMI kind of, it's not holding its head, but its head it's fallen. Do you understand? And it's just a creepy smile whereby it's a demonic one to say, I could take you at any time, but for now I'm gonna provoke you. So as I would run past that place, on that day, and it was weird to me, but then he had back pains, and in my car, they had back pains. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. So and then as soon as I went in the house, my back was facing that passage. So as soon as I entered, my dad is sleeping. Imagine he's gone. Singing song. Mind you, I'm 9 years old now. I'm 9. Like at the end of the passage, like it's like that thing that was smiling at me. Mayithi ngifuna ukubhala umnyango khona into engitshelayo ukuthi ngibheke yabo manje I'm fighting vale mara mase ngifuna ukuvula mara ngithi hayithi ngivale mara I wanna open but manje I'm fighting because I can feel it ukuthi if ngabheka yoqhamuka ngala ayiqhamuka ngale indiza khona it won't come out from where it's calling me, it will come from this side. So something finally fought in me and was like, close the door. So as I closed the door, I wanted to lock it. But before I locked it, I asked my dad, Daddy, he's really, because I thought maybe it was my friends. Because I didn't lock, I was ready to open and check again.
Yeah.
What was that? You know, because there's no one who use card in and I know my landlord's son liked playing tricks on me, but it was too late for him to be outside playing tricks on me like that. Plus, so I was like, who could it be, man? Because I know Umtanagalo would never ever pull a prank like that. So when I heard that, I was bothered. And it really shook me. And I was so bad, as in. That's how we zwana. Ngithi uzweni. Ngathi ngizwe yabo. Athi cela usheshe ubani. Ngabala ngakhi athi cima amalight. Ngithi uthini? Ngicima amalight ngivuke ngicima amalight. Wavuka. Ngathi ngicela ngagijima naye ebhedini. And every time I'll come from a situation in China, I'll sleep with because I have a habit of opening my eyes. Until I fall asleep, I'll close my eyes. If I can't fall asleep, I ain't in my life. So I'll just put the blanket over my head and then and then I prayed because I felt like that thing was near me. It was like, so basically, so passage this is the door. It was one big room. You see? So when you look the side, the bed is at the end, the kitchen is the side, you understand? The TV is opposite the bed. And there was a bit of space between the bed and the sliding door because there was a sliding door. The sliding door didn't work. So I loved sleeping next to the sliding door. So I told my dad to leave open space. So ubaba washiya space lapho. So every time I sleep, I'd feel like going into emile lapho nje like it's always there. Yeah, ngiyangikhombisa ukuthi ngiphethe, I got you, like mangikufuna ngakuthatha. So every time I feel bothered, I wouldn't jump in. So bengiyijumpisa ukuthi ngiyayizwa bezobusa ubaba nje kuphela kahle ukuthi baba angikwazi ukulala. Then he'd pray for me, and then because I felt like if bengijumpisa bezothatha action, like beyinyekinyekile manje bezongithusa ukuthi manje ubaba naye athuseke because akaboni into engiyibonayo mina yabo. So to him it's like lento le engihluphayo vele ingangithatha because he's not seeing what's provoking me. So every time ngamtshela straight ukuthi baba angiphathanga kahle, he pray same time because uyazi hayi. Because I never used to speak like this vele yabo. So manje sisi ushonile vele washona waqala yena vele ngale izinto lezophupha inze ubuye. So that night during that night I fell asleep and then I had a dream whereby something was knocking on the window. And it was during the day.
Yeah.
And at that time I had an enemy. I won't lie, I was young, but that I won't lie, that was my enemy, and spiritually I didn't know. So she was, I think her name was Lisedi.
Yeah.
Her name was Lisedi. I don't know if it was her cousin or her brother, but because I feel like whatever they had going on, he would always participate in it, you understand? And then at some point he'd like be kind to me, to like, you know, and I think she was very So I was on some, I get like that was like I was the type of person of if I don't have your energy and I feel like I'm super, I wouldn't bother myself. I'll tell you straight, I don't want to be with you. You see. So I had a dream which something was knocking on the window, right?
Yeah.
And then in my dream, I woke up. Lovely kittens. For a few seconds, there was nothing. Out of nowhere, I'm being just like that. And then I woke up. And then when I woke up, I had a bad dream. What was the dream? And then I told him the dream, and then he prayed a certain prayer which I don't know of. And then I fell asleep. And then the next day, I went to the same friends that I came from, and they were Xhosas. So I went to them and I told them about the dream, because they knew me and they said it's beef. They knew what I mean. He said, it would never be nice. We were always going back and forth at each other because Uli said he always had a problem with me, and I never had a problem with no one. Do you understand? So I was irritated by the fact that he says he's the only person that has a problem with me. Hence, I'm Yenzi next. So when I told them, hence he said he's not with me now. He said, so I would always go there, exeni, because he would make cupcakes like I'm a cappuccino. Ooh, I'd go and buy, like my dad knows. If I shima, you share up because I was over for my cupcake walk on. So
like I said.
So I also felt like I also feel because that was one thing that always kept me up, like I would always be there. So at some point I got tired of my cupcakes. I was like, I'm a cupcake. You don't want to like the whole day I keep buying things. Every 2 rand, every 3 rand I had, I'd buy. So when I woke up from that dream, and they were Xhosas, I wish I remember the name. I love them. So I told them, I was like, okay, this happened, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you understand, it was a black mama. And they were like, Shuguti is near you. You understand, it losing now. And then that's when I was like, even though they're young, they're Xhosa, so I was like, they're probably spiritual and they know. Because obviously, I know from some of my Xhosa friends, as you grow up, they are in that process of they're teaching you how to be spiritual, and all of that. So they told me straight to Butina, your enemy is close to you, that's why you had that dream. And in my head, the first person who come who said is straight. And no one else. The way Nazuli said it after that, I distanced myself from her after that. I was like, no, we're more movie. And then I started playing with them more often, and he said he would be bothered. She would be bothered. So, and I felt like something was going on in City because Ukoko had a problem with my father, which I don't know what was the problem, which till today, if I can go there, so, so I've learned that I'm spiritual because then when we moved out from there, that was the main reason why we moved out, because Umar was really being bothered there. So this place is not like, we have to move out. So before we moved out, my dad had a girlfriend. So was because the apparently she called my dad. So sayang, get busy. And it was beautiful because I was a kid. So I loved her from there because it wasn't a thing of she was buying me. No, she really loved my dad for who he was. And she loved me for who I am. I was very entertaining. And I loved her so much because she loved me. And I loved the person who loved my dad. So was Farashela for a weekend in that same yard where I had that experience against. I was Farashela. So manje hence ngakutshela mina ngilala esliding door. So bekubaba bese bekumuntu wakhe, then it was me.
Yeah.
So leyo busuku yonke into beyi-right man, angizwanga ukuthi khona into engihluphayo. U7 u6 vele. So sinokulala ngabo 8:30 to 9.
Yeah.
So bekuyisikhathi sokuthi silale. Manje umuntu kababa uyangifaka embhedeni manje yabo. Wavula umbhede, ukhipha amaphilo, nasefaka amapijama yabo.
Yeah.
Ubaba waqala ukungena embhedeni, walandela umuntu wakhe. Sekugcina mina ukungena embhedeni, and mina sengingena ngathi side.
Yeah.
So mangena this side, I go on top of the bed. So I usually fall asleep on my right. Mangilala ngihlala ngilale on my right. I can't sleep on my left.
Yeah.
So mangithi ngiyajika ngifuna ukuzivala ngengubo. Khona into the same thing usisi wami waphupha ngayo. Manje mina sengiyayibona angiyiphuphi. And I didn't feel it at all. It didn't give me a feeling ukuthi I'm here for you or anything.
Yeah,
yes. So mangithi ngiyajika ngiyayibona. And that thing, oh, you can see it's levitating. Ngiyayibona ukuthi it's floating. I hand it now. And you can see ukuthi iyashake, so just to ukubonisa ukuthi it's spiritual. It's not an actual figure. So as soon as I saw it, ngajampisa ukuthi ngiyayibona.
Yeah.
So mangijampisa ukuthi ngiyayibona, that's when nayo yajampisa ukuthi injampisile ukuthi ngiyayibona.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw it, ngathi papa, what is that? And leyo nto beyibheka ubaba bengabheki mina. Like it was right next to my dad. Beyibheka ubaba ngathi
describe ukuthi
as if
uzame ukuyidescribe some more.
I could say it didn't have a face at all. You couldn't even see the gap. You wouldn't see no darkness, you wouldn't see nothing. It's just a whole black figure. And you can see it's spiritual. It's not a figure of, you can see Wuti Wumo. You can see straight Wuti Wumo. This is spiritual straight. Because I have it now. It's just moving Moya. So as soon as I saw it, because what is that? There's no one else in the see 3 command. And I was bothered because it was standing next to my dad, like right pango, so like in begging straight. So to me it was a thing of, is it the thing usiswama pupa ngayo? Cause this can't be petunes. So this time being a pattern, it was being bigger I can just take your soul now, so I'm doing this. So to me it was it's in Vusubaba before anything happens, you understand? So Nati Papa, Nati Papa Voga, Nati so Baba Agabedi Lagui, because he can't see anything. So I was like, Papa, it's standing right in front of you, like leave me the public back. Baba said to look better next. Mama to young what is it? That thing, oh yeah. Yes, it floats as in speed. Less than a second, it came right next to me. And I didn't wait for it to come right here. As soon as I saw it come my direction, I jumped up and then I started crying like my dad could see. I followed it as it ran, like then to living in pain, I come back, because as my father was about to ask me again, what did you see? So as soon as he turned, he saw me. And then I was like, then I jumped, because you're bringing bigger. And when that thing ran towards me, it brought up the image I saw when I walked past there. Shubuti, whatever was hunting me was hunting my dad in the first place, but decided to come to me because I was weaker. And my dad wasn't the type to believe in things like this. He would always push me to avoid things like this. So until my dad saw Guti Ayla and Lani, because he get angry at me. I'm like, I is just so when I'm and now I'm no quite and you change straight Guti Hazin, we can't say that Lani is just so yabo, next to pay, like being in that anything through high. So that's when my dad was like, there's something going on with you. So immediately after that, I ngalalela esiphakathini ubaba wangithandazela until I fell asleep. Then he fell asleep. So after that we moved out. Sahlala la La Rochelle, S6 Street.
Yeah.
That was 2019. Then that's when Kokwan from my mom's side. I mean from Baba was shown. So before she passed on, the night before she passed on,
Yeah.
so basically when it's night this side, it's like in the AMs,
Yeah.
so we were getting ready to sleep.
Yeah.
So when we were getting ready to sleep, and then I was still growing. So in my religion, it's not allowed for a woman to sleep when they pass the age of 7 going up. A woman must be on their own, like have their own room and everything.
Yeah.
So at that time, Baba wasn't making much money to get like ikamelang.
Yeah.
So he got me like a mattress kancane, you see. So I never minded as long as I had something to sleep on and maybe do the So we were getting ready to sleep. Wow, mattress, gave me my blanket, light. And then when Ubaba switched off the lights, my dad was laying. He was busy with the phone, and on this side it was a balcony, but it was you could go. There was a door.
Yeah.
So there was 2 windows on the side, and there was a street light outside. So very anything that goes outside, anything because of the shadow. So my dad was laying facing that way.
Yeah.
The bed was like this, and I was laying like this on the end, by the end of the bed on my mattress, my pants, and I was facing this side.
Yeah.
So out of nowhere, and he's urasela towards the balcony, as if someone is there. Okay, sharp. Hence, I never liked that place also because I had a problem with the kitchen. You see, the fridge was near the entrance, and there was a glass.